Well, hello YouTube family, and welcome back to the nursery that some of you love dearly and others of you hate with the hate of 1,000 hates and want to make sure that the entire internet knows about it. To both of you, welcome. If any of you guys are not familiar with me, my name is Kristen Hoffman and I am a wife and a mom of 4 little girls right now. And I want to share with y'all, I think I'm gonna call it 25 things I wish I knew before I had a baby, or 4. You guys have just loved the mom and baby type content that I posted here in the past. If you are a mom, I'm so glad that you're here. If you guys know somebody who is expecting or thinking about having kids, I would love if you would share this video with them as well. Let's just jump right into it. So I'm just gonna tell y'all, I'm 36, right? This is baby number 4. And I will say that the older you get, the harder it gets. I would recommend starting with kids a little bit earlier, in my own opinion. I think that a lot of times people think like, oh, I don't have the money for it, or like, you know, there's a million excuses as to why you should not start a family. And many of them are valid. But I will say that my pregnancies when I was in my 20s were so much easier than my pregnancies in my 30s. So just maybe keep that in mind. I was struggling through these last pregnancies. And then when it comes to actually having the baby, I know that many of you guys know, but you can tear. I did not tear with all of our babies, but I tore really badly with this last one, and it made it significantly harder to recover afterwards. Also, I was so dead set on being like this, like, you know, women empowerment thing when I was first pregnant with Rosie, our oldest. And I just had this idea that I was going to prove everybody wrong, that I was going to be so strong through my pregnancy that I could do anything in the early months of having a baby. And I completely exhausted myself. And what I didn't realize is that there is actually a wound the size of your placenta on the inside of your uterus after, you know, it is removed from you. And it is so important to take it easy. Also, this is gonna sound bad, but like, I think that I was such like a superwoman with my first pregnancy and, you know, postpartum and everything, that my husband almost started to like expect that with each pregnancy. He's like, oh, this is how other women are, but this is how my wife is. Well, this last time, no, I was like, please, I will receive all of the help. I will lay down as much as I can. And it made the recovery from having a baby so much more enjoyable, just to like really take it easy. There's very few times in your life that you're going to be able to rest-ish like that. And so take advantage of it. In the hours after having our first baby, I was in for a rude awakening. I did not realize that you have contractions after you give birth, and you have them for like a long time, a few days sometimes. Apparently it's your uterus like shrinking back to size, and it hurts. It hurts just as much as labor contractions, if not maybe even more. They are brutal. So just kind of like prepare yourself for that. Also, you can bleed for a month or so after giving birth. I think that for me, it was typically about like 3 weeks, but some people go even longer. So really stock up on all of those like giant pads and all of that lovely stuff that we just love talking about. Also, this might be a given, but your bladder will most likely never be the same. Listen, after I had my first Rosie, I took her to a trampoline birthday party when she was about 2 years old. And I went just thinking that it was gonna be no big thing. Listen, it was a big thing. I jumped on that trampoline, and on the very first jump, I peed my pants. And I quickly, you know, scattered off and went and sat over on the side. Okay, so while I'm over here embarrassing myself, I did want to introduce you guys to the partner for today's video, which is Newton. These guys sent us over this incredible 5.5-inch crib mattress that I want to share with you. It is time for this little goose to start sleeping on her own in her crib. She's been next to us for the last 6 months, and she is about touching both ends of her little Moses basket. And so it's time for you to move on, baby Bill. I was able to get a code for $50 off of your Newton crib mattress plus free shipping. Just click the link in my description and use my code right here. So our current crib that we have, it's just like a straight up plastic mattress. Newton sent us over this washable, breathable, recyclable 2-stage crib mattress. These are designed with innovative breathe-through technology that allows babies to literally breathe right through, significantly reducing the risk of suffocation. Sadly, every year over 2,000 babies die from suffocation. A good night's rest is crucial, but rollovers do happen. Independent studies show that babies get 97% more air through the Newton crib mattress than through a traditional crib mattress. Breathability is so important because it reduces the risk of suffocation, it keeps your baby from overheating, and it stops the accumulation of moisture, which can lead to mold growth. Newton is made with revolutionary woven air technology invented in Japan. Also, there is no other crib on the market that is completely washable like Newton. The cover can go right into the washing machine, and then the core that is inside, this can go right into your shower to keep it bacteria free and clean. Do you see all that air in there? Because it's washable, it can be passed from generation to generation. And once your mattress is finished, it is 100% recyclable. Newton delivers the perfect combination of cushy firmness and an optimal level of circulation to let your baby sleep longer, which means that you sleep longer. They're also committed to leaving our planet in a better place than we found it. So they're partnering with Clean Hub and local communities in Indonesia to collect 1 million pounds of ocean-bound plastic waste. Again, you guys can use my link below to get $50 off of your Newton crib mattress plus free shipping when you use my code at checkout. You can try 100 nights of sleep on Newton mattress, and if you're not happy, Newton offers free returns so you have nothing to lose. Okay, she's like full on falling asleep, so I think we're gonna try to finish out this video. Okay, so since we left off on some gross things, let's start back up on some gross things. Next is your body scent and sweating. You might notice that your body smells like bad after having a baby. I only had this problem after I had my second, but for some reason I didn't feel like I could shower enough. The smell is hormonal and your hormones are out of whack. Unfortunately, this can last all the way through breastfeeding. Your body regulates your hormones and it leads your babies towards your breasts. So apparently that's what they like. Also, not that this would happen to me, never. Just kidding, it does. But but your boobs can hulk out. Like they can get so veiny and large in the beginning, and they can even hurt to touch from anyone. Sorry, babe. Okay, something that I did not expect is that breastfeeding can hurt. And when I say hurt, it is like toe curling pain. With all 4 of my kids, I would gasp with pain whenever my milk let down. It was so awful. I will say though that it is like this for like the first month, 2, maybe 3 months. But after that, like now I don't feel it at all. And it was like that for all of my kids. Really tough towards the beginning and then like a total breeze for the rest of your breastfeeding journey. So I would encourage you that if you can get through it, try to get through it, because breastfeeding, in my opinion, is so much easier. Like it's like ready to go right there all the time. Breast milk also has so many therapeutic uses. It can help diaper rash, eczema, sunburn, cradle cap. It can also help with eye infections or mosquito bites, cuts and scrapes. And it also has great immune system support. I would suggest to you, if you choose to nurse, just do it wherever you are. Like, I don't know. My goal is to like destigmatize breastfeeding in public. And I myself am the type that I like to cover up, but y'all will see it. Like I will be nursing in these videos because like that's just life. I think that it's only been in this most recent generation, not generation, but like this most recent century that breastfeeding has been viewed as like disgusting in some way. I think that all other cultures and all other generations have just viewed it as necessary and like just how you feed a child. So anyway, I nurse our baby everywhere that I am, and I've talked about it before. Typically I just wear loose shirts and I just throw her underneath there and you don't ever see anything. You know, if you are a free the nipple type, then, you know, more power to you. I'm just not there. I would also say, in my own experience, unless you have a baby that has like very specific needs, like they're not gaining weight or something like that, don't worry about having a schedule for your baby. Like literally, your body and your baby together will tell you when they need to eat, and just do it on demand. This will give you and them more sleep, I feel like. Don't be surprised if you don't feel an instant bond with your baby once you bring them home from the hospital or birthing center, or, you know, from your bed. I would say that with my oldest, Rosie, it took me a little while to really see her as like a person and not just as like an infant that needed me for everything. Obviously, I loved her from the beginning, but you don't always feel that like mother-daughter, mother-son connection. But I promise you that it will come with time. With each child, it has been easier and easier to just like off the bat be like, that's my kid, that's my kid, that's my kid. Also remember that babies cry, and that's okay. Like, babies are crying all the time in our house. And I don't always have the capacity to be able to help them at the, you know, drop of a hat and meet every need at the moment that they need it. Oftentimes I just do the checklist of, are they safe? Are they hungry? Do they need to be changed? If not, they might just be tired. And in that case, sometimes they just cry and there's nothing you can do about it. You may not expect it, but taking care of a baby can be a full-time job. I have had seasons of my life where I was a full-time working mom, and I've had seasons of my life where I was a full-time at-home mom. And I will say that the seasons of my life being an at-home full-time mom, those were definitely harder than the luxury of being able to leave and be in an adult-only environment without everybody needing you all the time and get some work done over there. So just remember this and show this to your husbands. Being at work is not harder than staying home and taking care of babies and kids. Also, just prepare for your house to be a mess all the time. It's not going to be social media worthy. Literally right now, I mean, you guys are looking at a clean bedroom, but I mean, look at this. This is the state of the rest of my house. And this is how most other rooms in my house look all the time. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you've seen it. Things are rarely social media worthy, but have people over anyway. It doesn't matter. Nobody expects anything of you. Most women have been in this situation at some point or known a mom who's been in this situation. And just take advantage of the times of your life where the expectations are low. Also, receive the help. Take the meals. If anybody offers to like clean your kitchen, say yes. Those offers won't come your whole life, so you better take them up on it now. Also, I've said this before, but first-time moms receive so much support, which is great, they need it. But moms of multiple kids are often overlooked during postpartum recovery. So if you know a mom that has multiple kids and just had a baby, please think of her too. It doesn't matter if it's your first or your fifth, all moms can experience things like postpartum depression, and most moms need friends. Postpartum depression can look all different sorts of ways. I, with 2 of my pregnancies, had something called DMERS, which was dysphoric milk ejection reflex syndrome, something like that. I can't remember. But basically when my milk let down, I would have these feelings of like dread. Like the only way I could describe it, it's like that pit in your stomach, like when you get really horrible news, like your dog died or something like that. I would feel that every time I nursed. It's so bizarre how your hormones can really mess with your brain. And I think it's really important in these times to remember that everything that you're going through like is a season. You know, it's not forever. You are going to make it through this. Things are going to change whether you like it or not. I feel like that's so good to remember, both in the good times and the hard times. Remembering that they're only this tiny for a moment, but remembering that they're also only this difficult for a moment. So I know that there's a lot of parents that are very like regimented, scheduled, whatnot, and there is so much value in that to an extent. But in our experience, we did not want our kids to just completely run our lives. We want to live the life that we want to live and then bring all of our kids along with us. You know, sometimes if we're having fun with friends and staying up a little bit late, we'll let them stay up late with us. Or, you know, if we're going to go to like a really big special event, sometimes we'll skip naps. But you also have to know when to say no for both you and your baby's sake. This is gonna sound crazy. I know everybody says it, sleep when they sleep. With Rosie, my first, I never slept when she slept. I took the times that she slept to like clean our house. And then when she was awake, I was like trying to make her happy. Y'all, that was a mistake. I was so exhausted all the time. I made life so much harder on myself. I really found so much more success doing all of that cleaning and whatnot while they're awake. Either I would baby wear while I'm doing it, or I will like pull her little bouncer into wherever I am and she can just watch me do whatever I'm going to do. A lot of times she just wants to be with me. Anyway, that way I can both get things done and be with her at the same time. I would also say that as a mom, it's really important to connect with other moms and have people that are in your same season of life. If that comes naturally to you, then you are set. But if that does not come naturally to you, I would really recommend getting involved in some kind of like moms group, whether it's at your church or a playground or through the school. I have no idea. Anyway, just get connected because nobody wants to do this alone. It's really important to be very communicative with your husband about like, you know, sex and stuff like that, you know, because I know that especially, you know, if you tear and stuff, there can be a lot of fear around that subject, being like, oh my gosh, like he wants to do this. I am so nervous that it's going to be really painful. Anyway, all I can say is that it's really important to reassure your partner that it's not him. Be like, ooh, babe, yes, I'm all about this, but like, I'm not all about that right now. But also don't put it off for too long because that connection is so important. Something that's a little bit unexpected, I think, for many new moms is the mourning of your old life. I didn't struggle with this so much as my husband did. You know, I think that for a long time, he wanted to do and be all of the same things that we were at the same capacity before we were parents. And it has taken time. I actually have had to learn this too. I need to stop comparing myself to the old version of myself and know that we are in a new season with new goals and new priorities, and that's okay. And lastly, I want to say that this new life opens up a deep joy that could not be attained without sacrifice. There's something about caring for others that have a complete dependence on you that sharpens you, but it also makes you face your deepest areas of selfishness and laziness. Through this experience of motherhood, you will come out a better person with a greater capacity for love than you've ever had before. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you guys enjoyed this, I have a ton of videos just on new motherhood. Listen, I've got birth stories. I've got things I don't buy. I've got nursery decorating. I've got like literally all the things. I'll attach a playlist so that you guys can watch all of those. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I would let y'all see Lily, but listen, she is fast asleep. This child, look at her. So sweet. All right, everybody. Well, if you are not already, please consider subscribing. It is absolutely free and it really blesses our family. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.